so far so good. Honorable Kennedy is sending his message, and his message is in two parts. One, letting people know that he is that situational leader that the country needs as of now, and also making everybody know that he is that person who can win power for the MPP. And to the MPP delegates, this is the most important, because no matter the ideas, no matter the will, no matter the vision, without power, it's nothing.
Absolutely.
You don't get to express these. So the most important thing he tells, and the most important thing to the MPP delegates, is who can win power for them.
Okay. But what has been the response of the delegates, by the way?
The delegates have been fantastic. Every part of the country. Haven't you realized that there's a lot of propaganda and a lot of like people trying to attack his personality as of now? It's because
they
his
attack his personality?
Oh. There's a lot of that. Even yesterday, the unfortunate comments made by Honorable Atachia was one of them.
But
so
did he reference your candidates?
He doesn't need to reference the candidates. You see, this.
So you accepted that
he was referring to our candidates. You see,
how do you know when his name wasn't mentioned?
First of all, the truth is, amongst the people running this race, the race, to be honest, is a two-horse race between Honorable Kennedy and Dr. Bawumia. This is not the first time members of their campaign team are making such allegations about who is more suited to represent Ghana at the UN and who is more suited to represent Ghana at the IMF. Chairman Sahabonso had made similar comments about Kennedy. I think he was even emphatic mentioned his name. What's the name? Atachia. He was on the same, like on the same.
No, but my concern is
about Kennedy.
Names were not mentioned.
And I'm saying that it's circumstantial, right? Circumstantial in the sense that there are different strings that point to the fact that it's Kennedy that they were referring to.
So I mean,
even if it was not Kennedy,
Uh-huh.
right? We have five distinguished people who are running for the power and who are running to represent the party. And I don't think it's right for him to try to denigrate anyone or paint anyone in a bad light. Especially him Atachia, who is especially him Atachia, who is an honorable member of the party. He is otherwise very respected. He has his stature is very huge in the party. So we expect someone like him to be making comments that will rather unify the party. The party is on a very slippery slope, especially after the election. A lot of unfortunate comments have been mentioned. A lot of things to denigrate others have been done, and especially by people who are seen as younger, not as much experience, not seen as level-headed enough, not seen as wise enough. So we're expecting those who are elders in the party, yes, they can have their choice of candidates, but they should be the calm, cool heads who can rally everybody around and say, hey, this is one party, we are all in one party. Let's support our candidates, but let's do it with the needed decorum. Let's do our things such that after 31st we can rally behind the winner.
Okay.
But not make such comments which are going to make it more divisive. So if the elders for the party make such comments, who will call the younger ones order? Who?
Okay. But talking about unity, how much of a unifier has your candidate been? Because we see posts all the time denigrating the person, maybe not a person, but who Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is. They say that he destroyed the economy, and for a big opposition party like the NPP, you'd expect
but you don't see posts of denigrating Kennedy.
Because you
saying
are
that someone.
Don't worry.
I
want to finish. Building my point, right? And you come in. Because they say that, he wasn't able to deal with the economic challenges, yet he claims he wants to lead the party and the country at large. But some people would also say that it wasn't just his problem. It was a problem for the entire party or the government then. But ever since this campaign started, all we see is Dr. Bawumia couldn't manage the economy, so he doesn't deserve your votes. Is that not divisive as well?
So I think I want us to address it on two legs. So the first leg as to comments that have been made. You see, in an election, sometimes when it gets heated, a lot of people make comments. But what shows leadership is someone who is able to call his people to order and to steer them, that focus on the campaign and let's move on,
right.
which Kennedy has shown a lot of times. I remember when Kwekwanan, who was very popular, one of the people who worked for me at Netsu, who used to hold the seats, made certain comments which were deemed insulting about Dr. Bawumia. On that same day, Honorable Kennedy fired him. There was one gentleman called Alex Tete, made similar comments about a wound to me. On that same day, Honorable Kennedy suspended him from the campaign. He was suspended for about 3 months. Before later, he came to apologize and he came back. And Honorable Kennedy has always shown the way that he wants unity and he doesn't want anybody from any other side to be denigrated. To be very honest, from the side of Dr. Bawumia, we don't see same. There are a lot of people who have been making such comments and we don't see any
people
sort
like
of reprimand.
Do you have some names?
Of course.
Apart from Atachia.
I'll give up. Abronye. Abronye has...
Abronye?
Yes.
Abronye seems to be your problem. I mean, for Team Ken.
Why? Why is there a problem? He makes comments that have the tendency to even destroy the party, attacking religious leaders like Archbishop Duncan Williams.
Okay.
And I don't know if you all understand the role that religion plays, and a colossus like Archbishop, who is seen as the de facto head of the charismatic movements in Ghana, he's someone who insults him, always insulting Kennedy. I mean, so many unprintable words against Kennedy. Recently, we even heard that he goes around insulting Kufuor. Yet Dr. Bawumia gives him his campaign platform. It's not, yes, you can say that, oh, I don't have control over this person. But for such conduct, even if you pretend not to know or you pretend not to see, you shouldn't give such person the platform to be on your campaign to make such comments. And I mean, look at people who have been giving and who have made comments on his campaign platform. I remember recently Abronye tried that, I think, in German South, and the people hooted him and sacked him off the stage.
Oh, that was real?
Yes.
People said it was AI.
Oh, come on. It wasn't. It was real. And look at what Atachia did recently on your campaign platform. So as a leader, what you have to do is call your people to order. And you see, MPP, mind you, MPP, you say one of the main reasons we lost was arrogance of power. And if we couldn't call our own campaign members or our own officials to order, then where lies our leadership?
Right.
In the same way, even now that we are in opposition doing campaign, Dr. Bawumia has not demonstrated that he can call his people to order when they go around. There's one gentleman, Exp0se, whom very unprintable words about Kennedy, that Kennedy will need to get injections even before he chairs cabinet. Such words.
He said that?
And he's an aide to Dr. Bawumia, yes.
Lawyer Exp0se Jr. He said that.
Of course, there's video evidence
that
to that
needs what?
I don't even want to repeat. I don't even want to repeat it.
Wow.
So, and if you're unable to call them to order, does that go on to affirm the fact that you may not be strong enough to call your people to order? You may not be strong enough to direct your people. You may not be strong enough to fight corruption. Now, back to, I told you I was going to...
In two phases.
In two phases. The first about the conduct of the candidates, and the second was, I think I missed it.
It escaped you.
Yeah. But, no, so you said the first was about how the candidates themselves have treated the people. So I'm going to tell you about how Kennedy will go ahead and deal with things here in Ghana, which ordinarily...
Before we do that, what then would be your expectations from Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia? Like you said, somebody in your camp had denigrated or said unprintable words about Wuntumi, and the person was suspended for 3 months. What then would be your expectation or your advice?
Okay. Call your people to order. Don't platform them. And I mean, worst case, if you think that this doesn't represent who you are, disassociate yourself from them.
Right.
Tell them that these comments are not my comments. And because I've seen, I saw a video sometime where he said that, oh, don't vote for me. Don't say you're not voting for me because of the behavior of somebody around me. And she said, but that is not enough. As a leader, you should be able to crack the whip. And that's the kind of character we need in a leader here in Ghana.
Okay.
And that's the kind of character that Kennedy has. A kind of character that we know that as president, when you vote for him, he being your commander-in-chief, you'll be able to control his people, you'll be able to ensure that the right thing is done, and not someone who may not have that strength. That is the kind of character we need as a leader.
Okay. You say that Ken has been to 12 regions already. He's left to do 4 regions.
Yes.
What has he been telling the delegates?
So one, about job creation. Kennedy has a vision to create jobs for the country, to solve the socio-economic problems that we have. In Ghana, the biggest problem that I believe we face now is job creation. If you look at all our national security reports, if you look at all other analysis about the biggest issues that confront the nation, 90% of them go back to jobs. Even Galamsey, sometimes you say, when we sack the people, why are we taking to them to? Because we don't have proper alternative livelihood.
Right.
I finished university about 10 years ago, and by virtue of the fact that I get opportunity to appear on certain shows like this, a lot of people come to me also with their problems. And a lot of my colleagues I finished school with, as of now, have never been gainfully employed. A few get some opportunities. NHIS needs some people to do registration, 2 weeks, and it will take 8 months for you to be paid. So job creation or joblessness is a very big issue here in Ghana. Now, Honorable Kennedy wants to use, and he is an astute job creator, and he's done a lot in the private sector. He's created thousands of jobs in the private sector. What he wants to do...
Thousands of jobs?
Yes, he's created thousands of jobs. We can go on and on to count. He's created thousands of jobs, about 8,000 jobs in if I want to be specific. And what he wants to do is to use government resources, and that is human, finance and all, to support individuals in the private sector to also create jobs. I believe that as a country where we have reached, we should understand that governments may not be able to create all the jobs we need, because job creation would have to match production. And government in its nature, and especially even looking at the ideology of the MPP, is rather to support private sector to create jobs. And like, if we may recall, there are even times that the government has employed so many people, and it pushed us into financial crisis. Mohammed's first tenure, one of the issues that even came up during his IMF program was the fact that government had overemployed, and there had to be a freeze on public sector employment. So now we should look at helping the private sector to create jobs. He, being the politician, especially amongst the MPP people and even contemporary politicians, who has created the most jobs that I can say for a fact, he understands what it takes to create jobs in the public sector, in the private sector, and he, being president, will know how to support the private sector to get there. I mean, he gives an example. Even as of this time that we claim we say he's created 8,000 jobs, there are still a lot of issues that he faces that with the right government support, he would have created more. Just one example. Honorable has a steel factory called Ashanti Steel at Tema. Ashanti Steel alone, when it starts production at full capacity, is scheduled to employ about 1,100 people. Now, Ashanti Steel is not working because even the policy around how to get electricity there, initially even started with a conflict as to whether or not it was ECG or Gridco that had to supply electricity because of the volume involved. And just by virtue of that, over a year, this factory has not been working. If government had the right policies around such things, government would have supported he as a private individual, and 1,100 Ghanaians would have been employed by now. The factory is ready, a factory worth over $100 million, and it's not working. And apart from that, even how our forex issues, like, there are so many things and so many ways that government can support the private sector. He has been through it as a businessman. He understands what he would have needed from government to succeed more than he has. Probably with the right government support, the 8,000 jobs he's created now would have been about maybe 30,000. But without the right government support, I'm not saying there's no government support at all, or government does not support private sector, but with the right support that can catapult the private sector to go. Asia did it.
Previously, there wasn't enough government support, even under the Akufo-Addo administration.
I said there was maybe not the right government support. And the Honorable talks about the Asian miracle model. You know, a few decades ago, economic-wise, Asia was probably around the same stage that we are now. But they have been able to catapult because they took supporting private sector seriously. Now, the Asian miracle model was a full model that was developed like by the Lee Kuan Yews and other people of Asia, or other leaders of Asia, to support their private industries. So let's say, like, someone like you're an astute journalist, maybe you want to set up your station. How should government support you? You may not have money for equipment. The government may support you with equipment. You may not have people who have other technical expertise. It could even be marketing. It could be accounting. How can government support you to put in place the structure? How can government structure the payments in such a way that after a few years, you'll be able to start making payments? How is government going to be strict on you to ensure that there's no mismanagement? If you mismanage, government will take back this and give it to someone else who can manage it well. These were some of the policies that gave birth to companies like Samsung, which we all use their products, Hyundai, Hyundai, a lot of these Asian companies who have strong presence here. I'm sure your phone is a Samsung phone. It looks like a Samsung phone. So some of these Asian companies who have strong presence here have been beneficiaries of these models. And with the right mindset, with the right leader, we will get there. He talks about decentralizing regions. I don't know if you want me to go there.
I want you to go there.
Good.
Briefly.
Decentralizing regions. We've realized that, first of all, Accra is very choked. I was actually late for this interview because of the traffic. And other regions are also begging for so much development, but they may not be structures in place to catapult development in these areas. Honorable's plan is that we are going to decentralize our ministries into the regions. So the ministries which have close relations with what happens in these regions or what's the president sees as his vision will be sent into these regions to help catapult the development there.
Okay, so for instance, if there is an agric-dominated region,
agric is going to Northern region. Northern region, because Northern region has huge tracts of land and it has huge agric potential. Yes, I know the Bono and other regions are doing very well in agric, but Northern region has that elasticity, it has that potential.
Okay.
If the agric ministry is sent to the Northern region with the right focus, is going to help develop the place. Apart from that, even the staff going there, relocating the ministry and its agencies, is also going to catapult development within even these regional capitals. Job creation, people are going to travel there, tourism, restaurant businesses, people are now going to build housing and all. It's going to make these regions develop.
I see, but
energy for Western.
As a team, have you perhaps conducted any feasibility study, or this is just something you're thinking about?
No, we've done some studies.
You've done some studies,
and we are still on the studies. So we've looked, like, that's why for Northern region, we believe agri could be well suited. For Western region, we believe energy will be well suited.
Right.
For Ashanti, lands and natural resources, we believe will be well suited. So it's not complete yet on all the areas or on all the ministries, but for some of the ministries, our studies are clear and the decision is clear. For Volta region, Ministry of Tourism, Volta region is one of the regions with very beautiful scenery. I think thankfully there's not much galamsey activity there, so even water bodies.
I haven't even heard of any galamsey activity there yet.
So there's very beautiful scenery, and there are so many tourist sites there that people don't even know about.
Right.
But we don't focus much there, and also much into developing the tourism potential of the place. Through our feasibility, we realize that environment science, climate change, and others should be tied to the University of Energy and Natural Resources, because we still need so much research in this area. We still need a lot more development. So that's going to the Bono region. It's going to help, and there are many others that we are considering. Ministries like Foreign Affairs, ministries like Finance, ministries like the Attorney General.
Those will be in the capital.
Will be in the capital.
This is very interesting.
Yes.
But there are 4 other aspirants apart from your candidates. What does Kennedy AGYAPONG possess that you think makes him that presidential candidates ahead of the other 4, including the former vice presidents?
Kennedy has 2 things that are going for him. One, his strong vision for job creation and his clear plan to create jobs in the country. I don't think that any of them.
They all say they want to create jobs.
What have they said they're going to do?
Dr. Bawumia says he wants to create jobs. I remember Dr. Yaosei-Duchum, spokesperson, also talks about how they intend creating jobs.
How?
By employing, I've forgotten exactly what he said, but everybody talks about job creation.
How many have they created in private life? What have they demonstrated?
I mean, they haven't gotten the opportunity, perhaps.
What have they demonstrated? So, for instance,
and they are not businessmen.
It's not just about being business.
candidates.
Dr. Bawumia has been in government. So what has he demonstrated? He's been vice president, the second gentleman of the land. What has he demonstrated?
But if President Akufo-Addo created some jobs, directly or indirectly, Dr. Makum Bawumia was involved. Don't you agree?
No, but what was the impact?
Digital economy, digitalization.
Which jobs? I want to. Maybe you may not be. Maybe you may not know the specifics. But to be very honest, I don't think that his focus and vision for job creation is as clear as that of Honorable Ken, and he's shown practically how he's going to do it. For someone like Dr. Educhuma, I know he has also spoken about education, but for job creation, I've not heard much. For someone like Dr. Brian Champon, yes, he's someone I know. He's also done quite well in the private sector, but Honorable Kennedy's achievements in the private sector and vision are clearer, much bolder. And two, Honorable Kennedy has a credibility. He's a doer. There are lots of people who are not doers. I mean, there are so many times that even you and I, you may think of some idea, I want to do this. Or even in Ghana, we talk about New Year resolutions.
But it always stays in our heads.
You write them and every year you repeat it. So it's not just about thinking it. It's not just about having an idea. It's about your ability to see through it to get it implemented. You need a doer if you are really serious about developing. I believe that at every point in time, there's a situational leader who is perfect for the development of the country. We had Kufuor when, after a time where there had been several rounds of coup d'etats and a lot of instability, we needed a cool, calm, level-headed person to stabilize the country. He did that perfectly, and since then, we've not had to deal much with instability. Now, our biggest problem is job creation. We need a serial job creator who has a vision to create jobs, who has a discipline to see it through, who has the strength of character to see it through to get the country to develop.
Okay. So from what are the next stops he's doing in terms of the 4 regions? From Western. You say he's completing the Western tour today. Okay.
This weekend. From Western, we'll do a T. Then we have a special plan for Ashanti, Central, Greater Accra, which I won't want to put on.
Why not?
It's all part of campaign strategy. It's not everything
special
that
plan.
I have to devolve.
This is very interesting.
Yeah, but we have a special plan for Ashanti.
You want to stay there for long in campaign?
We have a special plan.
Oh, that's the plan. I can see it from the way you are looking at me.
I have a special plan. I
see.
Plan. But these are areas where, like for instance, Central Region is his region. Where he's doing so well, but there's so much potential.
So well in terms of what?
In terms of reception. I mean, he has a home advantage in Central Region, so he's touched so many lives in Central Region. So even last election where not so many things were going well for him, he still won in Central Region. There's much more elasticity, so he's going to strategize and maximize it. Same for Greater Accra. Greater
and the
Accra
Ashanti region
was very close. Ashanti Region is the heart of the MPP. I mean, Natoshi recently said that MPP can never be. MPP has never lost in Ashanti Region. Ashanti Region is the heartbeat of the MPP, and usually when Ashanti Region decides on a certain path, it usually becomes the decision of the party. So Ashanti Region is one place where we are also doing a lot. I just came from the Ashanti Region this Donu. Honorable Irina Toshi was touring there, and the kind of reception that was the people were given to her and her message.
But did she really
Kennedy.
say that people will vote for Ken because he has 6 packs, a flat tummy? I saw something like that. Was that true?
So, like in political communication, sometimes people try to misrepresent what you say. And it was just a comment that she was making in just talking about the fact that Kennedy has a nice personality. And if you look at voter behavior, there are some people who even get the ballot and say, oh, this man is a handsome person, I'll vote for him. It happens a lot. I know you've seen people, people who have voted like that before. It happens a lot. Somebody there, and look, for instance, when Obama was running America, this guy is handsome, he's charismatic. People don't even listen to the message. They just like how he talks, how he dresses, how he folds his shirts. John Mahama had the same thing. So John Mahama is a young guy. John Mahama used to take nice pictures with iPad. So there are a section of voters in voter behavior who sometimes fall for such things. So in political strategy, you also look at a candidate who can maximize all those votes. Because
the optics smarter.
Yes. In politics, every vote counts. I know people who say they voted for JJ because he was a nice, handsome, fair man. And how he talks, his voice.
So not that she was misrepresented.
No, I think she was misrepresented. She was just talking about the fact that personality also counts.
Okay.
So in political marketing, you have to look at the candidates who can maximize all these.
Okay.
Which is
now,
fair.
I see. Despite the fact that you're very optimistic that, your candidates may emerge victorious at the end of the January 36 polls, we've also seen polls from the Global Info Analytics, which always puts Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia first. Does that not bother you in the camp?
Not at all. I mean, polls are just indicative, right? They are supposed to let you know your strengths, your weaknesses, and what to do. For instance, in the last election, Global Info Analytics polls, Kennedy started at 4%. The last poll I saw before the election was on the 10th of October poll, and that in that poll, I think Kennedy ended at 17%. After the election, Kennedy was at 37%.
Okay.
So if you were to go by the polls, yes, Kennedy didn't win, but if you were to go by the polls, you'd have thought that Kennedy wouldn't have made any showing at all. So when the polls come, we look at the polls, we study, we look at what we can learn from it, and we also conduct our internal polls, which is very good. And that's also not the only poll we have seen. We've seen different polls. There was one by one Dr. Ivan Shujia, which also brought out, which also put Kennedy first, but in that poll, he said it was headed for a second round. So there are different polls. We always engage the polls. I mean, I always say, once you get results from a poll, you look at two things: the credibility of the poll and the methodology. Sometimes we have problems with some methodology we see, sometimes with even the credibility of the pollster. There are sometimes we still accept it, study it, work towards it. It's just like someone preparing for an exam. You can write the mock exam and fail. That doesn't mean you fail the main exam.
Right.
You take the lessons, you pass the main exam. Some can even write mock exam, pass and fail the main exam because they become complacent. So we look at polls as directions, as what to improve, what not to do, and we move from there.
Okay. So in about 30 seconds, I'm sure delegates are listening. Tell them why your candidate should be their preferred choice.
So to MPP delegates, I believe that Honorable Kennedy is that man to win us power. Apart from the fact that he's a situational leader that Ghana needs, he's the man who Ghanaians are yearning for. He's the man who Ghanaians are crying for. And this is a simple exercise and a simple challenge I'll throw to delegates. Just go out, have conversations with your colleagues in town, have conversations with people that you sit in buses with, people in your church. That who is more likely to win if MPP? Who are they more likely to vote for when MPP presents a flag bearer? Will it be Kennedy or will it be any other candidates? And mind you, and from our experience and from what we've seen, a lot more people tell you they want Kennedy. So we need to present a candidate who can win power for us. Because apart from winning power for us, no matter which idea anyone may claim to have, no matter which personality anyone may claim to have, that power, that ideas will not materialize. We saw that in the last election. We had a very beautiful manifesto. We made so many promises. We showcased so many ideas, but we still had our worst performance in our history.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for